Hello, my loves. Welcome into this Taurus new moon reading. This reading is for you if you have Virgo rising using the whole house system or if 28 degrees, 26 minutes of Virgo, nope, 28 degrees, 26 minutes of Taurus shows up in your ninth house. Welcome in. If you have not already watched the introduction to this reading and you find yourself lost in wanting to learn more about what it is that we're talking about here, you can watch the introduction. It's linked in the description and popping up on YouTube. So the houses in our zodiac story represent where things happen. So this is where this new moon in Taurus is happening for you. So the ninth house is the house of spirituality, ruled by the ninth sign of the zodiac, which is Sagittarius. It's the area of your life that deals with higher education, ideology, travel, philosophy, and a second partner if that applies. So this is where you're being invited to experience this new beginning when it comes to the Taurus energy. And this is where we're going to focus our interpretation of our readings. Now, the first part of this reading is an invitation for you from the new moon in Taurus to tap into the wise instinctive knowing that exists within you on a deeper level. Meaning, I'm going to give you cards and I'm going to let you do the interpretation. I'm going to invite you into understanding what's coming up for you, meaning I'm not going to be guiding you through this process. You're going to be getting your own advice and guidance from these cards. I picked the best deck that I could have picked to help support you with this. It's called the Karma Cards by Monte Farber. And they are, more so than any other deck that I have, cards that speak to the individual, specific message for you. And it's less about the reader's interpretation than any other deck that I have. So I pulled this deck out to help you get your own messages from this new moon in Taurus. After that, we're going to move into the human condition content. So if you're not familiar with that, you definitely want to watch that introduction. It'll bring you up to speed with what it is that I've been talking about for the last couple moon phases here. We're going to review the Angel Therapy card that we got for the Aries new moon, and we're going to be applying it now to the ninth house. So here are the Karma cards. Here's what they look like. Here's how they are read. It's going to be 3 cards that are going to form a sentence that we're going to read all the way across. So you see right here, I've already pulled the Moon card and the Taurus card, and then we'll complete the sentence with the in the ninth house card. So the top message is going to be a spiritual message, the middle one is a mental message, and the last one is a physical message. You might find that all of them resonate. You may find that one of them resonates more than the others, and you may find 2 that really call to you. So how you read it is you just read it straight across. Defend your beliefs. It's the first sentence, then ... Accept the costs of ... And let your feelings tell you how to use the most direct way and ... So I recommend a journal because this is Taurus. It's physical energy. When we write something down, we put it from thought into physical form, and it's such a very powerful way to engage with our intuition, our understanding, and what's coming through for us. It helps us to pull out the nuances of what we're experiencing when we encounter something, and the Taurus moon really wants you to get used to this instinctual, loving, knowing guidance that exists within yourself that you can have access to in any moment. But engaging with it with the writing and the journaling really helps you to make it more concrete, make it more real. Yeah? Okay. So if you haven't already closed your eyes, taken a few deep breaths, and opened your heart to receive this guidance that's most aligned for you at this time, and called in any spiritual beings that you want to be here with you, I just ask that they be here in unconditional love and in support of you and your highest good and the highest good of all. Do that now. Pause the video. And when you're ready, we will get to these sentences. Okay, sentence number 1. Spiritual message. Defend your beliefs as if they came from all there is. Ooh. Okay, pause, journal about that. Next one, mental message. Accept the costs of the philosophies and laws involved. Pause, journal. And last but not least, the physical message is let your feelings tell you how to use the most direct way and do it in a big way. Pause. Journal. Woo! I'm getting a little antsy with these messages because I am a Virgo rising, so these messages are also for me, and I like want to pause and journal, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna keep going. I'll go back and journal them later, but you should be journaling them now if you haven't already. Wagging my finger at you. Okay. So, now let's review. We got the integrity card, and its message is to align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what is right for you. I shared with you all in the moon readings for Aries solar eclipse that the reason that I dived into the human condition content and information and started weaving it into my moon readings is because of this card, is because of my own interpretation of this message. And now we're moving it from the house of transformation, death, and rebirth into the house of spirituality. So now we're aligning our actions and values with the inner knowingness of what's right for us when it comes to the spirituality that we pick, how we engage in higher education, how we engage in learning, the philosophies that we have. We're really aligning our thoughts and actions with our spirituality, with our understanding. And let's get back to the human condition content. So when you understand or even begin to engage with this content, it's going to shift your beliefs. It's going to change the way that you think about the world. And it's going to answer a lot of the questions that you've had, that you've brought to spirituality, that you've brought to philosophy, that you've used your ideology to try to answer. The human condition content that Jeremy Griffith provides does answer all these questions. It provides finally an answer to the questions that we asked as kids that no one that we asked had an answer to. Why is the world the way that it is? Why are we here? What are we doing? This understanding really helps us to get a complete answer to those questions. And when that happens, our spiritual beliefs change, our philosophies change, our ideologies change, and as they start to shift and change, we're being invited to continue to align our actions so that they match with our shifting values, our shifting awarenesses, our shifting spiritual understandings. Yeah? So for me, I was really into the spiritual world. I was really into all the new age modalities and methodologies and beliefs. And it's interesting because the human condition content, Jeremy Griffith in particular, Death by Dogma is a book that he wrote, and it's very relevant to what we're talking about here. It might actually be the book that you want to start with. Freedom itself is an 800-page book. It's a lot. So if you're not oriented like I am, you're Virgo rising, so you may be. But if you don't want to get into an 800-page book right off the bat here, Death by Dogma is a really great place to start. Because he talks about the philosophies and the ideologies that we've had to adopt because we didn't understand this information and this content. And now that we understand this information and this content, they're obsoleted. And that's big. It's huge. It's very shifting. You know, we started this journey as Virgo risings in the house of transformation. So death and rebirth, and we're already kind of experiencing that. And now we're moving into a new spiritual place, a new understanding, a new ideology based off of and on top of truth. Where the Taurus energy is planting its foot firm on the earth. It's like solid ground that we can finally put our teeth into, put our foot onto, and create a foundation of spiritual ideology, philosophy that makes sense, that answers any question you can throw at it. And it helps us to understand the holes that have been in religion, in spirituality, in New Age, in the left, in the right, in all of these different systems of thought that have developed as ways to try to support us in our development, with the lack of this understanding. Now that we have this understanding, a whole new ideology is created, but it's not a religion. It's not a new dogma because it's based on truth. And that's a whole new world that is being created off of this information. It's a whole new relationship to spirituality. It's a whole new relationship to ourselves and the world. And it's very spiritual in nature, even though it's based in truth. And the 9th house is ruled by the 9th sign of the zodiac, which is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is always aiming at truth. So this is where we're aiming at truth, and we're staying integral with our actions and making sure that they align with what we know now to be true based on this information and this content, and that we get rid of outdated beliefs, outdated value systems, and outdated actions that no longer align with the truth that we have now. That's our guidance for this new moon in Taurus. Let me know how this resonates. Let me know if you have questions. Know I'm here with you in this one, experiencing it alongside you. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.